And welcome into the Maryville Saints post-game show, brought to you by Wausau Homes. Todd Panula alongside Will Starwalt. Well, Will, it was a difficult afternoon for the Saints, to say the least, as they fall 10-1.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those games, like we'll hear from Coach Romero a little later. It's just one of those games you got to forget. You lose like that, you just kind of got to put it behind you and just go on because you got 2 more games this weekend.
So it was a rough game right from the start. It seemed like Maryville, they kind of came out. They had a little bit of a feeling-out process with the Bearcats. Despite the fact that these two teams are rivals, it was kind of a slow go in the opening minutes. But then once it seemed like Maryville started taking penalties, they just couldn't really stop for some reason.
Yeah, it was one of those, they kind of got in the box and they were just getting tired and they'd cause another penalty, and it just kind of escalated from there, and the Bearcats just kept the pressure on, and that's why the score ended 10-1.
And one of the biggest penalties of the game was that 5-minute major taken by Matt Berkmeyer, as we mentioned during the pregame show. First game back for him, at least here on home ice, in a little while. And then all of a sudden he puts his team behind the 8 ball, taking that major penalty, and they scored quite a few goals off of that as well.
Yeah, that's something you can't have, especially from your leading goal scorer. You kind of need him on the ice. And we were talking to Romero, and leading into that interview, he said the referees talked about it, and he tried to slow down, didn't quite try and, he didn't mean to do it, but it's just one of those plays. It happens. Luckily, he's not suspended for tomorrow's game.
So speaking of Coach Romero, let's get his thoughts on the game as we head over to the press conference room. Last weekend, but obviously the scoreline in this one was not what you expected coming out of that.
Yeah, no, it's I was telling you guys earlier. I mean, we take 10 steps forward and then we take 100 back, and I know maybe a little frustration of guys knowing that we didn't get selected for nationals, and we had talked about that and we were right there. And I don't know if guys were just frustrated, guys were just waiting for the season to be over, but unfortunately that's not our brand of hockey, and I don't really have words to describe what type of hockey, unfortunately, that was tonight.
Seems like McKendree kind of brings that out of you guys, too. I mean, Maryville likes to play a rougher style in general, but the Bearcats seem to really get in under your skin.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this, of that morning game on Sunday versus Davenport. I mean, I don't know if they watched some film on us or they talked to some teams, but they know how to get under our skin, and McKendree's been doing it as the 3rd game in a row that they've done it, and we have to be better. We can't play into that. We have to play our side of the game, which is respecting the game of hockey and respecting your opponents.
Seemed like penalties were the name of the game. 5-on-5, you guys can play with McKendree, but then the penalties just seem to kill you.
Yeah, again, it's, I tell the team all the time, this is college hockey, you're going to get hit. And I think, the biggest thing tonight was McKendree hit. They did, and they did so most of the time cleanly, and our guys didn't. And that's the problem when you spend 90% of the game in the box. Hard chance that you're ever going to win a hockey game. So that's something that we need to clean up for the next 2 days.
So you started the game with Scout, being a former goaltender yourself. How do you juggle whether to leave him in there and just kind of have to take it for the team or pull him out as you did?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, being a former goalie, that's always a tough position. I didn't think Scout played bad by any means. I mean, he. Even after giving up a couple goals, I mean, he still fought and fought and fought. And he came up with some saves that kept us in it early, which, that just shows that his tenacity, his resilience. But after the way that our team was playing, the way it was trending, there was no way I was going to leave him in there. Unfortunately, that has been a theme for some of the games that we played. And I'm just not about to let our goalies' confidence get ruined, especially on a game like that.
Arkansas coming up tomorrow. How do you guys push the reset button?
Short-term memory, really. I mean, you want to, this one hurts, and you want to think about it for a little bit, but come tonight, come dinner time, we just need to, get back to the basics and just get back to playing the game of hockey. That's it.
So we thank Coach Romero for his time after this tough loss to the McKendree Bearcats. Once again, the final 10-1. And Will, as Coach said there in his post-game comments, really all they can do is just kind of have a short-term memory, push the reset button, get back to work tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's the, perfect explanation. Just a short-term memory, like you said, and then just get back to work.
So it was kind of a rough day for Maryville. As we mentioned, 5 goals given up in the first period, 4 of them on the power play, 3 of them coming during that 5-minute major. So they really just kind of put themselves behind the 8 ball in that first period. Second period, Maryville does get a goal, but they allow 3. It's 8-1. 2 goals allowed for the Saints in the third period, giving us our final score of 10-1 in the ultimate path there. A big day as well by Nick Nelson as he picks up the hat trick for the McKendree Bearcats. And Maryville just didn't have an offensive explosion here. Obviously, only the 1 goal. They weren't good enough defensively, as this is the third game in a row against this McKendree team that they've allowed 8 or more goals.
Yeah, and as we were talking to Coach a little bit before the interview, McKendree just finds the way. He doesn't know if, somebody watched film on him or something like that, but McKendree just has a way to get under Maryville's skin, and this is what the result is when they take penalty after penalty after penalty.
So it doesn't get any easier, as tomorrow afternoon it's going to be the Saints against the Arizona Razorbacks. Arizona comes in, solid program there. And again, we talked about it a couple games ago where Maryville was finally starting to get healthy. Now they get a couple players banged up, so it's going to be tough sledding again tomorrow.
Yeah, we don't know exactly how the lines are going to work out, but a little hint from Coach was they're going to be shorthanded.
So it's going to be a rough go tomorrow, but we'll see whether the Saints have the will to pull off a victory against the Arizona Razorbacks. We hope you'll join us then as the puck will drop at 5:30. We'll have the Wausau Homes pregame show coming up just a little bit before that. But until then, for everybody here, for Marshy, for Chuck Kraus, for Will Starwalt, Eric making us look good behind the scenes, I'm Todd Panula. This has been Maryville Saints Hockey on the Maryville Saints Hockey Network.
The Maryville Saints Hockey Network thanks you for watching this presentation of the American Collegiate Hockey Association.